Yeah, well, I guess it's beyond just politics right there. But now, one of the things that could make that a frustration or a success is power. The federal government, I mean, we don't want to talk about grid collapse. We know what happened over this past weekend. The federal government has issued 6 licenses in different firms for independent distribution of electricity in the country. And according to the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, it shows that an analysis of the commission regulated issued, according to that, the regulators explained that the networks were designed to independent of the main transmission, that's the off-grid transmission, and operate a smaller scale, providing electricity to specific areas of communities. Well, we have someone who did not just get that license, has been playing in that field, that's the independent power supply field, for a bit now. He joins us in the studio. He's the managing director of Welbeck Electricity Independent Power, Mr. Folabi Ayola. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Ayola, for your time. And so this is addition to, you know, your operations,
yes,
maybe more competition and all of that, but I guess that's good for consumers. But tell us how it's been like playing in the field as an independent power supplier in the country where there's a huge need for it, and it does look like going on the grid becomes even more challenging every time.
I think that we're in very interesting times here. As you know, the federal government moved electricity generation, transmission and distribution from the executive list to the concurrent list. And I'll mention a couple of states that have really made, definitely really made gains in this area in coming up with their own state electricity laws. The first one I have to mention is Imo State. As I'm sure some of the viewers will know, Imo State has recently passed their electricity law. That means if you want to generate, distribute, transmission electricity in Imo State, you go to their state electricity board and no longer NERC. I'll definitely give credit to the governor, the state assembly, for coming through so quickly, being the first state to do it. And we can already see that there are some benefits expected from this. I'll quickly mention the industrial estates in Owerri. There's been interest from independent power producers to set up power and build up that. I know that the minister is working on that. And then I'll move to Lagos State. Lagos is the economic capital of the country and the largest consumer of electricity. We have the highest amount of industry in the country concentrated in this state. So it is crucial that the state, the governor and the state assembly get this right, which they're currently doing. From here, I'll head to the State Assembly for the public hearing on the Lagos State Electricity Law, or the bill that is being pushed through the State Assembly.
It's supposed to be domesticating it.
Yes.
For Lagos State. So how does this work as an independent power company? So you generate, do you check out for the source? Do you do the green power or just anyone? So
as an independent power producer, currently we generate electricity, sell to our end users, independent of the grid. But with the... What's
your source? Is it solar?
Gas.
Is it hydro?
We use gas.
Gas, okay. So we haven't really tapped into solar yet, but that's in abundance.
The issue with solar is that the capital cost of setting up, let's say, 1 megawatt of power generation is about 3 times higher solar compared to using gas turbines and generators. So there's a high capital cost. However, there are some incentives which need to reach people like us, companies like us. The United Nations offer carbon credits. One of our projects is currently keyed up, is signed up to that. our project we're doing in conjunction with MTN. MTN is a multinational. They have access to these areas. So it's something that if it can be spread to other independent power companies, there will be an incentive. The carbon credits, the way that they work is basically for reducing your emissions, you're given a monetary benefit. So it's basically to encourage countries like us to try and reduce emissions.
All right. So you produce the power, you have target customers, you approach them, and then they buy into you. So you are the one who supplies them. Tell us how that works. And the issue of cost, obviously, is a factor.
Yes. So I'll say that the major factor affecting us, and I'll say affecting the industry, is the cost of gas. So firstly, gas is priced in dollar. So anytime Naira moves against the dollar, our gas price goes up. Most of our customers are, apart from the telecoms, most of our customers are industrialists, factories, SMEs, the people that are producing, the people that employ the most Nigerians. So gas is produced in Nigeria. As the Minister of Power said, it should be priced in Naira. If it's priced in Naira, that helps us a lot. I know another thing that has come up in the public hearing and the state law has been also the cost of gas. So we pay a lot more for gas as an independent producer, power producer, than the Gencos do. If we can get a lower gas price, you'll see a lot more investment. You'll see a lot more investment, and people will have more access to power.
So this cost, say, we keep talking about, is it service reflective tariff or cost reflective tariff? And they also complain of things like oil theft and then customers not paying up. How do you handle that?
It's a difficult issue, but I think the state law, the Lagos state law anyway, is addressing all of these issues. So first of all, in the area of theft and illegal connections, the law will set up an enforcement unit that will have the power to enforce this, will have the power to prosecute offenders and so on. So that helps. And more importantly, the cost reflective tariff is enshrined in the bill. So there won't be subsidies. The tariffs will be cost reflective. However, there's provision there for robust discussion between the suppliers, the producers, and the end users. I believe in order to agree on a tariff that's cost reflective, you will have to have about at least 75% of the residents in that area agree to, I believe it's about 75%, but that can be confirmed. So we will see a cost-reflective tariff. Some people may pay more for electricity, but it will be much more available. And if I can just give you a figure, in Nigeria, the whole of Nigeria, we spend 20 trillion naira on generating electricity. Only 1 trillion of that went to the grid. So that means Nigerians are spending 19 trillion to generate electricity themselves. In Lagos, we generate about 16,000 megawatts of electricity. That's 4 times the national average. Out of that 16,000, I think it's only 1,000 comes from the grid. So Nigerians are spending a lot of money generating electricity themselves. If that money, even just part of it, can be put back into the grid, into investment, Nigerians in total, on a holistic basis, will be paying less for their electricity, even if their tariffs are increased slightly.
So what you do as an independent power supplier is you have a target or agreement with companies, with communities, so you target them, and they don't have to be connected to the national grid, they're just connected to you, and then they get there. So you're going for the hearing in Lagos now. After that, what next?
After that, we're hoping the governor, the third reading, you'll pass the third reading, the governor will sign the bill into law. And for us and for everyone else, we're currently licensed by NERC, that's under the federal government, but us and every other power producer or trader in Lagos will have to be licensed with the new Lagos State Agency. So once the bill is signed into law, we move from federal to the state. So the state will then have complete control. And one more thing to mention, as part of the law, the system operator is going to be independent. So we hear about grid collapses, and whenever that happens, we look at the system operator. In Lagos, once it has its own electricity market, it will have an independent system operator. That system operator will operate the market, will be in charge of operating the market. The state government will still regulate the market, but the system operator will be in charge of operating the market. So I think that will also help a lot with improving service.
All right, so I will certainly look for the days when we don't have to say the grid has collapsed and start counting and the costs and all of that. But thank you so much. We wish you the best as you go for the hearing. Managing Director of Welbeck Electricity Independent Power. Thank you
very much.
All right, now, so power, of course, it's a major one for any business or any economy. Let's take a break now. When we come back, we do have another conversation waiting for you. The private sector is still in focus here on Business Morning on Sunrise TV.